Okay, so are you ready to like unleash your inner animal?
Mm.
We love the Spiritual Seek and all their personality tests.
Yeah.
Well, this one is all about figuring out if you've got more of a dog soul or a cat soul.
Interesting.
And it's surprisingly thought-provoking.
Oh, I know. It's funny how those like seemingly simple quizzes can unearth like deeper truths about ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we're going to go through each question and kind of explore the possible answers
Okay.
and see what those choices might tell us about our preferences
Mm,
and maybe even our personalities. Ready to dive in?
absolutely. Let's see what these animalistic tendencies uncover.
All right, first question. How do noisy environments affect you?
Okay.
You can choose between no particular effect, I tolerate noise well,
Okay.
or I don't like noise and prefer quiet environments.
Mm.
I'm definitely more of a give me peace and quiet type.
Me too.
What about you?
Yeah, same here. It's fascinating how this first question already taps into something fundamental,
Mm.
like our sensories, sensitivities. Think about it.
Yeah.
Dogs are known for their like enthusiastic barking
Right.
and howling. Noise is part of their language.
Yeah.
So if you're unfazed by a bustling environment,
Yeah.
maybe even like energized by it, you might have that dog-like tolerance for sensory overload.
It's so true. I can totally picture a dog just loving chaos,
Yeah,
while a cat would be like, nope, I'm out.
exactly. Cats are all about stealth and quiet observation.
Hmm.
They prefer to move silently, observe their surroundings, and generally avoid commotion.
Makes you wonder, though, could our tolerance for noise be linked to deeper personality traits?
Interesting question.
Like, are people who thrive in noisy environments generally more extroverted?
That's a great question. It's certainly possible that those who are more sensitive to external stimuli,
Mm-hmm.
like noise, might naturally gravitate towards calmer environments and perhaps even be more introspective.
Interesting. Okay, moving on to question number 2.
Okay.
This one asks, what is your relationship with loneliness? You can answer with, I prefer company in group situations,
Okay.
or I'm not afraid of it, and sometimes I just need it.
Right.
So this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
The explanation for the dog answer, preferring company,
Mm-hmm.
suggests that a strong desire for being around people might sometimes stem from a fear of loneliness or a need to fill a void,
Interesting.
right? It even suggests that for some people,
Right.
having a dog can almost be a way to compensate for a lack of human connection,
Yeah.
which, if you think about it, is kind of sad.
Yeah, it does make you wonder about the underlying motivations for certain pet preferences.
Right,
It's not to say that all dog lovers are lonely, of course,
right.
but it does highlight the fact that dogs are often seen as these incredibly loyal and present companions,
Yeah.
offering a sense of security and unconditional love that some people might crave.
It's like they provide that constant source of comfort and affection,
Yeah.
which can be so fulfilling, especially if you're someone who struggles with being alone. Okay, so now on the flip side,
Okay.
the cat answer,
Mm-hmm.
embracing solitude,
Right.
is linked to a more independent view of relationships.
Okay.
So it suggests that people who are comfortable being alone might have a stronger sense of self-sufficiency
Mm.
and not rely as heavily on external validation.
Interesting.
So not that they don't value connection,
Right.
but
Yeah.
they just might have a different way of experiencing it
Yeah.
more on their own terms, perhaps.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that there are different ways of relating to the world.
Yeah.
And some people simply find solace in solitude.
Yeah.
Which leads us to a crucial question for our listener.
Hmm.
Think about your own relationship with loneliness.
Yeah.
Do you find it draining, or do you see it as a necessary part of recharging and self-discovery?
Yeah. It's definitely something worth reflecting on. Okay, ready for question 3?
I am.
This one's a bold statement. Dogs are man's best friend.
Okay.
How do you feel about that? You can either wholeheartedly agree with, of course they are, if only they could talk,
Right.
or offer a different perspective with, I disagree. I have another idea of friendship.
Interesting.
Ooh, this one is sure to spark some debate.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious, which answer do you gravitate towards?
I adore dogs,
Mm-hmm.
but the phrase man's best friend always felt a bit too simplistic to me.
Yeah.
It's like putting dogs on a pedestal and, in a way, diminishing the complexities of human relationships. What about you?
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
What's fascinating is how the explanations for each answer
Yeah.
connect to deeper beliefs about human-animal relationships.
Okay.
Choosing the dog answer might suggest a certain idealization of dogs,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps even viewing them as more loyal and dependable than humans.
It's almost like putting blind faith in the idea of dogs as like the ultimate best friend
Yeah.
without questioning the nuances of those relationships.
Right. And it's contrasted with the cat answer, which implies a more nuanced understanding of friendship. It acknowledges that humans and animals are different
Right.
and shouldn't necessarily be held to the same standards or expectations.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing the unique qualities of each species and appreciating those differences
Yeah,
instead of imposing our human ideas of best friend onto them.
precisely.
So it begs the question for our listener.
Okay.
Do you see your pets as equals companions or something else entirely?
Mm-hmm.
And how does that perspective shape your understanding of friendship in general? All right, let's move on to question 4.
Okay.
This one dives into leadership styles. It asks, do you like the idea of giving orders and taking control?
Right.
Choices are, yes, it feels good to be a reference point.
Okay.
Or, no, I don't feel the need.
Okay.
I'm curious, do you have that alpha personality or are you more of a collaborator?
You know me, I'm all about empowering others and finding solutions together. I'm definitely not the give orders type.
Me neither. But it is interesting how this question links back to the idea of dogs and cats.
Okay.
Dogs are known for their pack mentality,
Right.
with a clear hierarchy and a leader guiding the group.
Mm-hmm.
So if you enjoy being in charge and making decisions, you might resonate with that dog answer.
It's about feeling comfortable taking the lead and having a sense of authority.
Yeah.
Now, the cat answer is all about independence and rejecting the need to control others.
Right.
Think about how cats are often portrayed as rebellious and aloof, doing their own thing and following their instincts.
Like that classic saying, dogs have owners, cats have staff.
Uh-huh.
They're not interested in following orders. They're on their own mission.
Exactly.
So if you prefer a more collaborative approach where everyone has a voice and there's no rigid hierarchy,
Yeah.
you might be more aligned with the cat approach to leadership.
Right.
It makes you wonder if our preferred leadership style also reflects in other areas of our lives,
Yeah.
like our work relationships and even our hobbies. Do we naturally take charge or do we prefer to share the responsibility?
Great question to ponder. And it leads us to our final question, which tackles a rather well-sensitive topic.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
here we go. Buckle up, listener.
Question 5. Are you bothered by excrement and the smell of urine in public places?
Oh.
Your choices are not very much, however, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Or, yes, I think there is a lot of incivility around. I'm dying to know, how did this even make it into a dog and cat personality test?
Right. It seems a bit out of left field, but I have a feeling they're going to connect it back to some deeper meaning.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, the explanation for the dog answer being less bothered actually mentions the stereotype of dog owners.
Right.
Not always being the most diligent about cleaning up after their furry friends.
Right.
It acknowledges that it's an issue, but doesn't necessarily see it as a major offense.
Which is interesting because it kind of plays into the whole dogs are messy, cats are clean.
Stereotype.
It does. And it's contrasted with the cat answer, which highlights the inherent cleanliness of cats.
Right.
They instinctively bury their waste. Yeah.
So it's not as much of a public concern.
Okay.
The explanation for this choice also emphasizes the importance of civic responsibility and maintaining clean, shared spaces.
So it's not just about personal preference.
Right.
It's about considering the impact our actions have on others and showing respect for our community.
Exactly. And this question can be quite revealing. Do you tend to overlook minor inconveniences, or are you more sensitive to things that disrupt public order and cleanliness?
Yeah.
It might seem like a small detail, but it could actually reflect a broader outlook on social responsibility.
Right. We've tackled all 5 questions.
We did.
Now comes the fun part.
Yes.
Figuring out where you land on that dog-cat spectrum.
Are you ready to unveil your inner animal?
I am.
All right, let's do it. Let's break down these results and see what kind of animal spirits we've unearthed.
I'm so curious to see where our listeners land.
Me too.
Okay, so if you answer dog to all 5 questions,
Right.
D equals 5, C equals 0.
Okay.
You have a full-blown canine soul.
Whoa.
You might thrive in those bustling environments. Love being around people.
Right.
Naturally take on a leadership role.
You're probably the life of the party, the one everyone turns to for guidance and support.
Yeah.
You might even have a dog park named after you.
I love it. Okay, so if you answer dog to 4 questions and cat to 1,
Okay.
D equals 4, C equals 1, you have strong canine tendencies.
Okay.
Essentially, you embody a lot of those classic dog-like traits.
Right.
but with a hint of that independent feline spirit.
Perhaps you enjoy company, but also value your alone time. You might be the friend who's always up for an adventure, but also needs a night in now and then to recharge.
Yeah, like a dog who secretly craves a good nap under a sunbeam. Okay, what about D equals 3, C equals 2?
That puts you squarely as a dog with feline tendencies.
Okay.
The dog personality is still dominant, but those cat-like qualities are starting to purr a bit louder.
Interesting.
You might be someone who enjoys social gatherings, but also cherishes those quiet moments of introspection.
Balance is key.
Yeah.
Now, if it's D equals 2, C equals 3,
Okay.
we flip the script. You're a cat with canine tendencies.
Interesting.
That independent cat spirit is strong, but you still appreciate those dog-like qualities of loyalty and connection.
You might be the mysterious friend that everyone wants to get to know better.
Yeah.
You're comfortable being alone, but you also deeply value the close relationships you have.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
All right. What if you're mostly feline with just a touch of canine?
Then you, my friend, have a strong feline disposition with a score of D equals 1C equals 4.
Okay.
You're basically a cat in disguise, valuing peace, independence, and doing things your own way.
You're probably not a fan of being told what to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You march to the beat of your own drum, and that's something to celebrate.
And finally, if you answered cat to all 5 questions,
All right.
D equals 0, C equals 5.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You are a cat in a human's body.
Whoa.
You embody that independent, self-sufficient, and often enigmatic feline energy.
You're probably extremely comfortable in your own skin, perfectly content to spend hours lost in your own thoughts or pursuing your passions.
You might even have a secret stash of catnip somewhere. Just kidding. So, listener, where did you land on the spectrum? Are you a loyal canine companion or a free-spirited feline?
Remember, these are just tendencies, not absolute categories.
Right.
We're all complex beings with a mix of different traits.
It's about recognizing those dominant energies within us and seeing how they might influence our preferences and behaviors.
And having a little fun with it. It's fascinating to see how these animal archetypes can reflect different aspects of our personalities.
Okay, so we've explored the questions, analyzed the answers, and unveiled our inner animal spirits. But before we wrap up, I want to bring up something that's been on my mind throughout this whole discussion.
Oh, I'm all ears. What's got you pondering?
So we've been focusing on dogs and cats, but it makes you wonder what other animal spirits might resonate with us. You know, like if dogs and cats can reveal certain personality tendencies, could other animals offer even deeper insights into our inner landscape?
That's such a fascinating thought.
Yeah.
It's like opening up a whole encyclopedia of animal archetypes.
Right.
You know, different cultures throughout history have attributed unique qualities to various animals.
Yeah.
The wisdom of owls, the strength of bears, the grace of deer.
I've always felt drawn to birds, especially hummingbirds.
Oh.
They're so tiny and delicate,
Yeah.
yet they have this incredible energy and resilience. They never seem to stop moving.
I love that. It makes me think of how we often associate hummingbirds with adaptability and the ability to find joy even in the smallest moments. You know, they remind us to appreciate the sweetness of life.
Exactly.
Ugh.
What about you? Are there any animals that particularly resonate with you?
You know, I've always been intrigued by wolves.
Mm.
They're often portrayed as fierce and solitary creatures,
Yeah.
but they're also incredibly loyal and protective within their pack.
That duality is so interesting. It's like they embody both independence and the deep bonds of community.
Exactly. And that resonates with me on a personal level.
Yeah.
I value my independence,
Right.
but I also cherish the close connections I have with my loved ones.
Yeah.
It's that balance of strength and vulnerability that I find so compelling about wolves.
So what does this all mean for our listener? If we think beyond dogs and cats,
Yeah.
what can we learn from exploring these other animal archetypes?
I think it's about expanding our understanding of ourselves. By connecting with different animal spirits, we can tap into different aspects of our personalities,
Right.
uncovering hidden strengths and embracing the complexities that make us unique.
It's like each animal represents a different facet of our being,
Yeah.
a different way of navigating the world.
Exactly. It's not about taking these associations literally,
Right.
but about using them as a lens for self-discovery. So we encourage our listener to explore these connections.
Yeah.
What animals speak to you? What qualities do they embody that you admire or resonate with?
It's a fun and insightful exercise.
Uh-huh.
And who knows, you might even discover a hidden animal spirit you never knew you had.
I love that.
Well, thanks for joining us on this wild ride, listener.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, Keep exploring those fascinating facets of yourself.